Let's move now to a full acid titration. These are great review problems because as one does the titration, they move from a weak acid system to a buffer to a salt solution to a strong base. So in essence, it's a combination of all of the things or most of the things that you've learned before. So let's look at the players in this particular titration we're going to do, which is titrating a weak acid with a strong base. We're going to start out with a titrant is 0.1 molar sodium hydroxide. That's our strong base. Our titrand is 0.1 molar acetic acid, our weak acid. And we're going to start with a volume of 100 milliliters of acetic acid. And we know that the Ka for acetic acid is 1.8 times 10 to the minus fifth. Okay, where are we? What is our pH right here? Well, we know we have no base added at this point, so we merely have a weak acid system. So let's fill that into our formula. H plus is equal to Ca square root of, plugging in the numbers, we get the pH is 2.87. Simple enough. Now what we're going to do is add a little bit of base, and by a little bit I mean 7.5. Okay, so let's see if we have 7. Now, how much? Because we're adding different amounts, different volumes, we're going to have to go back and do the mole thing. So we added 0.1 molar, and so we're starting out with 10 millimoles. How do I get that? Well, I've got 0.1 molar, and I'm starting out with 100 mils. That's 10 millimoles. I'm not going to use molarity because it winds up being a small number. It's really good to work with millimoles. What's the deal? Well, you know moles is equal to molarity times liters. So if you divide both sides by 1,000, whatever you do to one side, you can do to the other. What do you get? Moles divided by 1,000 is millimoles. Liters divided by 1,000 is milliliters. So basically, here's the formula if you want to use millimoles. Much easier because most problems deal with milliliters rather than convert that to liters. It's much, much easier to just work with millimoles instead of moles. So I'm starting out with 10 millimoles of acetic acid, and I'm going to add 75 milliliters of my base, and that's going to give me 7.5 millimoles. So what happens? Well, all 7.5 millimoles is going to react. It's going to give me, and what's it going to react with? Acetic acid. So the 7.5 is going to chew up a lot of the 10, leaving me with 2.5 excess acetic acid left over. So I can see now I have a weak acid. And that's going to form 7.5 millimoles of the conjugate base of this, or acetate. So this gives me my conjugate base here. So what do we see here? Look at your E in your Rice equation, and you see what? You have a buffer solution. Very simple. Cut to the chase. There's your formula. You know Cb, you know Ca. In this case, we're talking about the amount in moles. You know Ka. Plug it in, and you get the H plus. Convert that to pH, 5.22. If we're keeping score, we now know that this is 5.22 when we've added 7.5 millimoles or 75 milliliters. Okay, let's edge up closer to the equivalence point. Let's now say we add 2 more millimoles of base to it. In other words, my total base is now is 95 as opposed to 100. So I've almost titrated with enough base to cover the full amount of acid, but not quite. So I'm just trying to get a point here that's before the equivalence point. Well, see, if I pretend I started over with 10 millimoles and I'm adding a full 95, we can do it that way. So what's going to happen? All of the HA, all of the OH is going to react. It's going to chew up most of my weak acid, and it's going to generate a large amount of acetate. Even so, what do I have? A weak acid and its conjugate base. I still have a buffer solution. which means I just have to substitute those numbers in, and I now find out I can get my H plus, and my pH now goes up to 6.02. Well, that makes sense because we added a little more base. We would expect our pH to go up a little bit, and indeed it did, from 5.22 up to 6.02. As a quick aside, some books or some people will use what I'm just going to call a continuation rather than start over and pretend you had started out with 10 here. You could actually go back and pick it up where you left it off and pick this up at this number here where you have starting out at 2.5. Okay. See, so you've already got that. So if you continue with that, what did you do? Where you stopped last time, you just added 20 more mils. Remember, you had 75 mils, and you added 20 more mils to get the 95. So if you want to pick it up where you left it off and just looked at how much is added, you can do that. But you've got to be consistent. I normally just pretend I'm starting over. But if you want to use a continuation, that's fine. It's taught both ways. So there we go. We're almost to the equivalence point. Now we're going to actually get to the equivalence point. And that's where the amount of acid and the amount of base are equivalent. So I've got 100 mils of this, 100 mils of that. I've got 10 millimoles of each. So what happens? Every bit of this gets used. And so now what are you left with? You're going to produce 10 moles of acetate. So what do we have? Look at our equilibration line and what's left. All you have left after you mix these two is what? The conjugate acid of a weak. In other words, you have a salt solution. You have a salt solution made from a strong base and a weak acid. So we already know from earlier in the chapter, when you deconstruct this salt and you know that this is strong and this is weak, you know that you're going to have a pH that's greater than 7. So we already know what we're looking for. We know where the answer is going to be. Now let's see what we have. Okay. The first thing we need to do is set up an equation with our acetate, and we know it's going to react with water to maybe generate some acetic acid and generate hydroxide group. The key here, what's hard to get is, how did I know this? This was not given. Well, you're right, it wasn't. And that's one of the keys to getting at the equivalence point. We have to calculate the molarity, the concentration. How do we do that? Molarity is equal moles per liter. Do I know how many millimoles of salt I have? Yes, I do. I have 10. I've got that from the E portion of my Rice equation. Do I know how many milliliters that's in? Yes, I do. It's 200. Why? Because we started out with 100 milliliters of acid and we added 100 milliliters of base to get to the equivalence point. So our total volume is equal to 200. Fair enough. And so when you do 10 divided by 200, we're going to get our 0.05. And now we just do our regular equation. We have a weak base system here. We have a weak base system. Easy. Plug it into our shortcut for the weak base system. We know CB. We just calculated it. We know KW. We know Ka. So we can calculate the hydroxide concentration, which can then give us the pH, POH, which can be converted to pH. Does this make sense? You bet. 8.72. That does make sense. We knew it was going to be greater than 7. We weren't exactly sure how much. Now we are. 8.72 at the equivalence point. If we went back to our original, we now know this is 8.72. Right. So finally, if we keep adding base, what are we going to get? So let's assume we start out with 100 mils of the weak acid and we add 110 mils of the strong base. So 10 of the base is going to be used in consuming 10 millimoles of the acid. And then that's going to leave us with 1 millimole left over of the base, of the strong base. And there we go. So we have 1 millimolar there. We have no weak acid. We have no weak acid. And we have some weak base. Well, we don't really have a formula for a strong base and a weak base. We don't need one because we're just going to neglect the weak base. It's going to get washed out by the strong base. So now we just have a strong base system. And what do we know for a strong base system? The hydroxide concentration is just equal to the concentration of the base. So, which is what? Well, we've got 1 millimole of strong base excess, and our total volume is 210. So, we get a hydroxide ion concentration of 4.76 times 10 to the minus third. And when you do all of your machinations and convert that to pH, it's 2.32. Error. This is POH is 2.32. Why did I know to catch that? Because I've got a basic solution, and the pH can't be 2, right? That's a strong acid, so I know that's wrong. Oh yes, it's the base. That's what reminded me it's wrong. So therefore, now I can convert that to pH 11.68, and now I can go back and see that this is where I measured it, 11.68. So you can see the progression here. Great review problem here. Okay, let's see what else we have here. So, and again, there's the summary right here of what we just did. So when we added no base, it was 2.87. When we added 75 mils of base, the pH went to 5.22. Right before the equivalence point, it was 6.02. At the equivalence point, it was 8.72. We would expect that. Why? Because we've got a strong base and a weak acid, and so we knew it was going to be greater than 7. And finally, when we had excess strong base, we expected a larger number. Why? Because it's a strong base. So all of that makes sense. Oh, by the way, in that, if we needed to know what the pKa or what the pKa was, if we didn't know it, we could have calculated it at the midpoint of the Henderson-Hasselbalch. Because what happens at the midpoint? These are the same. That goes to 1. The log of 1 goes to 0. That term goes away. And whatever the pH is just the pKa. Kind of a reminder.